no reefs, but Vidi did the most winning.
Okay, well,
Anywho.
okay. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge fan of Neil Reeves, so I have no reason I can possibly argue
Yeah.
with you.
So, we're getting underway here. And Josh is unfortunately for him, Josh is the 8th seed, so he's actually going to be going second in every single match in the elimination rounds. Not where you would want to be ideally with Belcher.
That kind of stinks, especially, and the reason that stinks for him, obviously you want to be playing first with Belcher anyway, but Vidi's deck, main deck has 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Inquisitions of Kozilek, that are going to be turned on turn 1, along with 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Counterspell, which is actually realistic to cast when you're on the play, in case the game goes past a turn, in addition to his 4 Force of Will. So it's going to turn on a lot more of the cards in his deck than it normally would when he's on the draw.
This is actually kind of the weird upside of playing Char Belcher in some circumstances. When your opponent knows that you're playing it, they're often... I mean, it's the one deck in the format where you're going to be mulliganing the most aggressively against once Force of Will is in your deck.
Yes.
So you also get the upside of, even if your hand actually isn't particularly good, often your opponent's going to just mulligan themselves out looking for a Force of Will or a Thoughtseize or whatever.
I mean, and there are situations when I was playing the deck where people do aggressively mulligan the Force of Will so much that they have to keep like a rather pathetic hand with Force of Will. And then if you're on the Empty the Warren skill, then Force of Will isn't even that good.
Right.
Like you can just go over the top of it and then just hard cast Empty the Warren, Storm Trigger resolves, and you get all of your goblins. And also in addition to that, if they do mulligan to Force of Will, let's say they have to mulligan to 5 for Force of Will, they cast Force of Will, they're down to 3 cards.
Yeah.
So they don't have the cards to be able to pressure you and that sort of thing, give you time to rebuild your hand, is also a very realistic possibility.
Yeah. So, some pretty friendly banter. These two guys obviously have, in the same way that I've known both of them for a very long time, these two guys have also known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, frenemies.
Yeah, frenemies.
I mean, do you think this matchup favors one person or the other?
I mean, I think I'd rather be on the Char Belcher side of it, but it's close. It's it's hard to say just because the Stoneblade deck has 10 or so cards that are awesome in the matchup, and then a lot of garbage. So if you draw a Thoughtseize and a Force of Will and a Click, the matchup looks super easy. But if you draw a bunch of Stoneforge Mystics and Batter Skulls and Lingering Souls and Swords to Plowshares, you have absolutely no game.
Sure.
So.
Uh-oh.
I don't know exactly what's in Josh's hand, but it looks lethal.
I mean, Josh has Summoner of Rituals and he has a Char Belcher. What it looks like this hand can do, looking at it briefly because I don't see a Lion's Eye Diamond, is it looks like it can get Char Belcher into play. Probably have like a Spirit Guide as backup. And he does have a Land Grant, so he's going to have to expose his hand, but it looks like he can put Char Belcher into play, have it into play, and then he needs to draw some sort of ritual.
I mean, he's got 2 Rite of Flames, right? Does he have 7?
Grant is 1, 2,
3, 4,
desperate
5,
4,
6.
That's actually 7.
Mox.
It's not good. His hand is not good against. His hand is very poor against Spell Pierce, though. So you have to set it up so that you don't get pierced. That's the difficult part. Looking at his hand, leading with Land Grant is okay.
Yeah, I mean you had to start there, right?
5, 6, 7.
You don't want to start. You don't want to start off by discarding your Spirit Guider and printing a Mox, right?
You're okay if you start off sometimes by starting with Lotus Petal or Chrome Mox. You don't want to start with Land Grant always because you don't want to expose your hand so that Vidi knows what he has to Spell Pierce to break it up.
So if you're in Josh's position here, are you more inclined to say, I'm going to resolve Goblin Char Belcher through Spell Pierce and eventually kill him with 3 mana? Or are you trying to kill him on turn 1 here?
You don't need to kill him on turn 1. You are much more inclined, given the option, to just put it into play, and then you will draw into something to kill him because your entire deck, the majority of your deck is just mana sources.
Yep.
I'm gonna actually go in the tank here and see if he could have not started with Land Grant, what he could have done.
I mean, he goes Petal, right, Rit. He can go Petal, right, Rit, Char Belcher, or play a Petal, Char Belcher. If it gets pierced, he can Spirit Guide, pay for Pierce, and then he can go like Mox, Imprint, Land Grant, Nudge, or just cast the Land Grant afterwards, Nudge. I guess, right?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
It's actually rather difficult. Starts with Land Grant. So if he has Pierce and he starts with Petal, he plays Petal first, resolves, plays Mox, imprints Land Grant, sacks Petal for a red, casts Rite of Flame, leaves him with 1 mana in his pool, which is the Mox that's available. VD Spell Pierces it. He removes Spirit Guide. He removes Spirit Guide, plays for Pierce, right resolves, has 2 red, plays Desperate Ritual, has 3 red, plays Desperate Ritual, has 4 red, casts Charbelcher. That gets him around Spell Pierce, and it doesn't have to reveal his hand.
Yep.
And then he has a Chromox in play, and then he just needs to draw. He has a Chromox that's on green, and he just needs to draw, LED, some combination of spells so he had to activate Charbelcher, but he has 1 mana source in play and a Charbelcher in play, and at that point he never has to reveal his hand, and if VD is on Spell Pierce and not Force of Will, then Charbelcher is actually going to get through.
But he can go over the top of he can still go over the top of a Pierce, right? He can just add all of his mana, cast Charbelcher with 3 floating, and if it gets pierced, alright, you go down to 1 floating. Like, you'd rather have the Taiga in play, or you'd rather have the Taiga in play because it just makes it way easier to assemble 3 mana after the fact in case you get pierced.
Sure, but what you need to do is you need to induce VD into casting Pierce. Because the goal is to try to induce him to casting Pierce so that it doesn't do anything. You need to find the combination at the sequencing of spells to make it so that when he does cast Spells Pierce, you kind of surprise him with Elvish Visionary. Or, Elvish Spirit Guide.
So we have 3 mana here. He just imprinted the Elvish Spirit Guide. So he has... Now we have 2 red in the pool plus 2 more mana available.
Sure. Well, he is attempting to put 2 red in his pool, but he does have 2 mana available.
Yeah, so he has 4... Yeah, so we have Rite of Flame on the stack. Alright, so we have 2 mana.
Camera down.
Camera down.
Camera up.
Yeah. Desperate Ritual.
Desperate Ritual 2 still available, so that's going to be up to 3.
Now we're up to 3 mana.
This puts us up to...
Like, he can fight through a Pierce, right? Like, he can still, even if VD has Pierce, he can still play for Charbelcher and have Mox plus Taiga in play.
Yes.
And, there's almost nothing he can't draw to win the game. Right?
Yes. This line works a little. This line does work a little bit better. I hate showing them I hate showing them my hand if I don't have to with Land Grant to know where they can break it up with Spell Pierce. But it looks like the way that his hand is composed, he's still going to be able to work through it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we see a Spell Pierce in his hand.
All right, so there's a Spell Pierce.
Okay, so he's going to pay that.
Yeah, I assume he's going to tap. He's going to break the Petal, use his Mox to pay for it. Go up to 3 mana in the pool.
Yep. Play Ritual, go up to 4. Play Belcher, say go.
Yeah.
And then anything that he draws.
Yeah.
Should be able to take care of it.
We don't really. I mean.
You don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, we've gone this far, Josh.
Yeah.
We've gone almost all the way there. We got to go home.
There's no not moving in at this point.
Yep. All right, so we're going to pay for the Spell Pierce. So Desperate Ritual resolves. Now we have 3 mana in the pool. Going down to 2, trying to go up to 4.
4. Belcher.
Does Belcher resolve?
Go.
That's a yes.
Big sweat.
What are we sweating? Engineered explosives?
No, big. I mean, that's, yeah.
Oh, okay. There.
All right.
Okay, that's a start. We got lines on diamond.
He has so many draws. Is the thing.
Oh yeah.
He has.
And VD does not have a lot of them.
Not only does he have so many draws, he has so much time.
Oh yeah.
To just draw these, because it's not like VD is just going to pressure him out of
Oh, Stoneforge for Batterskull. All right.
Yeah. Stoneforge. Go. Put Batterskull to play. Go. And in for 5.
Yeah. So what are you even looking for if you're VD?
Just some way to put a clock on. I mean, he doesn't have any way to get Belcher off the table game 1. He can't set explosives for 4.
I mean, explosive for 4 is pretty ambitious anyway.
Sure.
Oh yeah, just Academy ruins it back, and then I'll pay 4. And then,
absolutely.
In the meantime, Josh has just run 3 Land Grants, so he can't kill me.
Yeah, I've had it happen.
Sure.
It's not the craziest thing in the world. I'm assuming that you have Josh's deck list in front of you, yes?
Yeah.
Just 1 Taiga?
Yeah, basically his bad
bias.
draws from here are Empty the Warrens, Burning Wish, Chromox, Land Grant, Seething Song. Lion's Eye Diamond is a kill. Lotus Petal, Desperate Ritual, Rite of Flame, and are all quite good. And Tinderwall, Elvish Spirit Guide, Simian Spirit Guide. So he has a variety of mana sources that can be countered. Those are the medium quality draws.
Yep.
He has mana sources that can't be countered. Those are the best draws. And then he has trash, which are bad draws.
Yes. And ideally, he just draws Running Spirit Guides and kills him.
Yep.
But like we said, he has time. And don't get me wrong, Vidi's discard is actually still good here.
Yes.
Okay, like Thoughtseize and Inquisition, those are still real cards right now. Force of Will is still a very real card that can beat Josh. But the fact is that he has to, draw those cards to kind of stop Josh and apply a clock, that sort of thing.
It's asking a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of things to ask for once a Belcher's in play.
Vidi's actually pretty low on cards too. All right, Inquisition. It was a hit. Can we get a view of what that hit? I mean, it went to the graveyard, so we know it's not a.
And now it's back in his hand. Oh no, that was probably the card he drew for the turn.
Yeah, it was a draw step, I think. It was a Burning Wish.
Burning
that
Wish.
was one of the bad draws.
Yeah. So you're actually pretty happy to get that Inquisition if you're Josh.
Right. It's certainly not. It's no Spirit Guide, that's for sure. Does Vidi have? Vidi's almost out of cards too, right?
I mean, Vidi doesn't have a ton of cards.
I think he has a Batterskull in hand.
That's embarrassing. Empty and Spirit Guide, I think. Maybe it's a Rite of Flame.
I mean, Rite of Flame you're just casting here, right?
Not casting it.
He has a Simian Spirit Guide in his hand too.
That's true.
It's empty.
It's empty. Yeah.
Empty's his last card, so we need a mana. Is it Batterskull time? Is it Batterskull?
Should it ever be Batterskull time?
I mean, if it's any time, it's right now. Just sitting there staring at that cannon in play. You got it.
Yeah. How do you feel if you're Vidi or just anyone? You're
just staring at that thing.
Oh, so cannon, or it's like a Looney Tune.
Yeah.
You better pray to whatever you believe in that I don't draw another mana source. Because if I do, it is over.
I'm drawing pretty live here.
Yeah, I'm fairly live.
I've got a fair number of outs, like 36 of them or whatever. Literally not that many. It's like, all right, so.
It's my favorite when like land grant is like so good like in the early turns of the game, and then like you just need to draw a mana source to go off, and you just draw a land grant. You're like, ugh, why? All right,
boom.
B Skull. Gonna gain life, gonna get out of Belcher range is my next plan.
Boom. Here we go.
Rip. Pluck.
There it
Guide.
is.
That's Spirit Guide.
Taste it!
Taste it! Upstairs!
Get out of here. Hit the showers.
Yep.
All right. So Josh takes down game one, and that's a pretty important game for him to win as well.
Am I being punked?
Now, Vidi gets a side in. He's got a lot of good action here to bring in.
Vidi's going to board in. He's going to board in his 2 spell snares. He's definitely going to board in his Disenchant.
Yeah, for sure.
He has a Blue Elemental Blast, which is going to break up the combo relatively well. Jace is actually pretty good if he can get to that point. Also, it's a blue card that he can remove the Force of Will. 2 more Inquisition of Kozilek, so it's going to bring him up to 6 discard spells after sideboard. I do not like Surgical Extraction after board. Perish obviously not good, and neither is Caracas.
So he gets to cut all of his like mopey control cards, his plows. He gets to actually hold that thought on the plows because Josh does have Xanad Swarm in the sideboard. He has
how many?
3 Xanad Swarm, 3 Pyroblast appear to be his anti-blue package.
Okay.
He also has 1 copy of Carpet of Flowers and an otherwise 1 of Burning Wish sideboard, so I assume the carpet also comes in here as well. It's excellent.
Yes. But Vidi's going to be able to sideboard out, he can probably sideboard out some number of Swords of Plowshares just because he has Proactive Hate in the discard spells because he's boarding up to 6. The 2 Lingering Souls are probably going to get cut out of his deck. The Jeet's going to get cut out of his deck. He has to leave Explosives in to hedge against Empty the Warrens resolving. I'm not positive if he is able to board out Batterskull plus Stoneforge Mystic, but those cards seem far too slow. And once Josh bricks on going off, that's all that matters. You'll have enough time between Jace and Vendilion Click and whatever else is in his deck to be able to get the job done. So I don't think that he should leave Stoneforge Mystic, the Jeet, or the Batterskull in.
Yeah. All these things seem way too slow.
Yeah, those cards stink.
They stank.
Even though Batterskull is actually good against the Empty the Warrens kill.
Yeah, I mean, how many goblins does a Batterskull hold off? Is it like 18 or something?
Yeah, he just attack, block, keep gaining 4 life. He actually does a pretty good job of it. So
yeah. So yeah, this feels like a matchup. You know, as is generally the case with the deck like Charbelcher, your post-board games are getting much worse.
Yeah, of course. Ooh, trivia time. Trivia time. P. Sully, this is you, my friend.
We're up to, this is for six free months of premium.
I thought of the last question on the spot.
Okay. So we just went over Josh Batan's sideboard plan. What one of Green Enchantment is in his sideboard for to fight against blue control decks? Can you name the copy? Singleton in his sideboard. It's an enchantment from Urza Saga.
Uncommon.
It's an uncommon.
Uncommonly good.
So just tweet your answer to hashtag SCG Premium, and the winner, which we will announce after this game, or match rather, will win 6 free months of SCG Premium.
All right.
All right.
I can dig it. That was pretty good for on the spot.
Yeah, I mean,
dig it.
you froze me, so I just had to go to the last thing we talked about.
I would have asked something about Ash and Ghoul.
I mean,
What does Ash and Ghoul do?
we already determined.
Tweet your paragraph.
So a quick repeat of the question. There in Josh Batan's sideboard, there's one copy of a green enchantment from Urza Saga that is there to fight blue control decks.
Correct.
Can you please name that card? Hashtag SCG Premium. Winner will receive 6 free months of premium.
6 ball.
Yeah, half a year.
6 months of articles by you, which is approximately how many articles?
1.25.
That's pretty good.
1.33.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's not good. It's not bad. So take what you can get from Patrick Sullivan.
Yeah.
So we'll be cutting back over there momentarily. There we are.
Studying each other's deck lists.
Oh,
The
look
deck
at
lists are
this.
public information during the elimination round, so they can get a
They're going deep.
yeah. It's also like, what is there to go deep about? It's like you know, hey Charbelcher guy, you got your 7 cards. Just bring them in. You know the 7 worst cards in your deck. Take them out.
What is Josh going to be boarding out? Probably Probe and what else?
I'm actually not a fan. I actually am not a fan of Burning Wish against decks with Spell Pierce.
Sure.
It's just too hard to do everything in one turn.
Sure.
I'd actually rather cut the 4 Burning Wishes, move the 4th Empty the Warrens into the deck, and cut 2, you know, whatever your worst ritual is. I can also see, actually, in the games, the post-board games, you're already kind of committed to going long. Like, you have Xanted Swarm, you're cutting a ritual for that, or you're cutting some mana for that. You're putting in Pyroblast. If the game's slowing down, I actually like shaving out a couple land grants, because that's like the worst card to be drawing multiple copies of if you assume the game's going deep.
Sure.
This is obviously more of your area of expertise, but those are the 2 cards that stand out to me as being not appropriate once you know that BD is going to have a ton of soft counters, and the game is likely to go on long.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Land grants are really good at helping you kill your opponent on turn 1. It's not as good as helping you kill your opponent on turn 6.
Oh, yeah, on turn 6, you don't want to draw a second copy.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. I think that what'll happen is when we saw this yesterday, or actually this morning in the finals of the Standard Open. Game 2 is going to be very tough for Josh.
Yes.
He wants to be on the play game 3. That's the ideal situation for him to be in. It's going to give him the best opportunity to win because it's going to turn off a lot of VD's cards, just spell pierces, just discard spells, that sort of thing. It's going to make VD heavily reliant, on Force of Will and Engineered Explosives if it is the Empty the Warrens kill.
Yeah.
Being on the play is just where he wants to be. Being on the draw, it's going to be extremely tough.
Can we get an update on the status of the Dredge Maverick matchup in the other semifinal bracket? Trying to get an update on that. I assume I'm going to go on a lark here and say the Dredge probably won game 1.
I think that you're probably right,
Yeah.
but stranger things have happened.
Right. Right. So, yeah, it is impressive to see, you know, Charbelcher, which was, it's been stigmatized, you know, in the last year is basically like.
People are haters, man.
You don't have to tell me, man.
I'm just going to be straight up. People are just haters. It's Brian 1-0 Maverick.
Whoa!
Maverick
won the
game
first
against
game.
Dredge.
All right.
But people are haters, man. If I came up to you before like a Legacy GP, I was like, Patrick, I have a deck that kills people on turn 1. You interested?
My response would be like, what happens if your opponent has Force of Will?
Patrick, I have a deck that kills on turn 1. You interested?
I'm not interested.
Exactly. We have a deck that kills people on turn 1 in a format, and everyone's like, that deck is awful. That deck is not good.
You understand that what you just described doesn't really tell the whole story.
I don't care. It's a deck that kills on turn 1. Yes, it's not the best thing I can say, but it also doesn't fold to Force of Will depending on what card you've drawn to kill them. But there is a deck that kills on turn 1. That deck cannot be bad. Yes, it can be fragile, but it cannot be bad.
I could cook up all sorts of decks that could theoretically kill on turn 1.
I bet you that's not true.
I could play build my Raging Goblin Hatred Mox Dark Ritual deck and try to win on turn 1.
All right, look, you can't cook up something that is this consistent at killing someone.
No, that is true. This is definitely the most consistent.
Yeah. If I came up to you and said I have a deck that kills people consistently on turn 1, you would be interested.
I would be interested.
Like day before a Pro Tour, you're like, absolutely, let's sit down and talk. You're like, here's what it's weak against, but it can overcome those cards. Which is something you want to play in a Pro Tour? Yeah, I would be interested in that deck. This deck exists, and people are just like, that deck's awful. It's crazy.
It looks like, if I'm looking at Josh's hand correctly, he has both a Land Grant and the Taiga.
Ugh.
And Vidi appears to be not thrilled with the quality of his hand.
What is a Land Grant and a Taiga? It's like what's like an awful 1-2 punch? It's like lamb and tuna fish.
Nuts and gum.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
There it is. All right, so I mean, this hand kills pretty damn fast.
Yeah. Take the Land Grant or
so just move the Land Grant in the graveyard. So this is definitely a hand where we're assuming we're going to. I would assume we're taking. I mean, all the cards are roughly the same. Whatever. They're all 1 mana.
Now this hand is adorable because, and this is why I don't like Inquisition against this deck, and why I like a bunch of copies of Thoughtseize is because he cannot take Goblin Charbelcher, and
he just moved the Land Grant up to the front.
Yeah, any interest in the green card, or, but the spells are redundant. If he takes Rite of Flame, the next Rite of Flame is cast for 3 mana.
Right.
If he takes Lotus Petal, Rite of Flame, cast Lotus Petal, put Belcher into play. You know, Inquisition doesn't actually take care of the problem because those cards are all redundant.
Now, again, I'm something of a novice when playing Charbelcher, obviously. This is a hand where you know, unless your draw step is Xanad Swarm or Pyroblast, potentially, where you just say, screw it, we are not caring about Force of Will, we're just jamming this on turn 1.
Big man, moving right in. If I draw...
Moving the Land Grant back.
Hi, not you.
You get to keep that one.
But this is a hand that, and this is the kind of card that Vidi wants to mulligan for. But you want this card to be Thoughtseize. You do not want this card to be Inquisition.
Yeah.
All of the ritual effects are too redundant, sir. Moving the other Rite of Flame back up there. Might take this one, thanks.
I mean, what are we really debating here? Isn't this kind of all the same?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Vidi, you have to take Lotus Petal, because if you take Rite of Flame, let me make sure. If you take Rite of Flame, the next one adds for 3 with the Taiga. Lotus Petal is 4, and then you get to play Lotus Petal, have a Taiga in play, and have a Charbelcher in play. So any mana source is going to win the game. If you take, oh,
and it looks like Vidi hand actually has Blue Blast, which actually would have been able to hold off.
Oh,
and there's Empty the Warrens. Now, here's the thing. Vidi actually has Engineer Explosives in his hand, so I think...
You positive on that?
Yeah, I'm almost positive he flashed it. So I have to assume we're just going to be going for the Charbelcher kill, because it's way safer against Vidi's cards. Like, you don't expose yourself to explosives.
Yeah, you can't afford to expose yourself. If he would have taken...
Even if he goes, like, let's say you made, like, 12 goblins this turn or whatever, even if Vidi goes, like, you know, turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, go get Batterskull, you don't even necessarily win.
Yeah. No, typically what is correct is... I mean, I don't want to speak in generalities, but typically what is correct against a blue deck is you go for Empty the Warrens, but we've already established that Vidi has Engineer Explosive in his deck.
Yeah. And the way that Josh is shuffling around his cards, I feel like he's just committed to Charbelcher. Because how many so this is 3. This Rite of Flame makes 3. So he actually gets to leave a petal left over.
Yes.
If his Charbelcher resolves.
Yes.
Which I think makes it very tempting to just go for Charbelcher, because any mana source is the game.
It doesn't though, because I mean, if this Rite of Flame resolves, okay, so that one resolves.
We're playing like he doesn't have Force of Will, so let's take that off the table.
Well, sure, I mean, but you don't have to play like he doesn't have Force of Will, because you just drew Empty the Warrens. But
you're playing into Engineer Explosives now.
Well, I mean, there are 4 Force of Will versus 2 Engineer Explosives in this deck.
But you don't think, like, based on the body language, Vidi contemplating his keep or whatever, that you think feels like his body language is like, I have a reasonable disruptive hand that doesn't have Force of Will in it?
I mean, I think if he had Force of Will, I mean, he's casting Empty. because there are 4 Force of Wills versus two Engineer Explosives, and against the blue deck you always cast empty. You don't cast. You don't
I don't know. I think.
Sword
I mean, maybe he's got a really good poker face. Whatever. I think VD tanked way too long on that mulligan.
Sure. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I mean, just from playing the deck for a very long time and you're undisrupted, and that hand beats Force of Will because he drew empty. You in air quotes beat Force of Will because he can't, if he doesn't counter Red Flame, your Empty the Warrens is going to resolve no matter what. And he didn't counter Red Flame, so it makes sense to go for it. He's on a 2-outer. Now he's on a no-fer, as far as Josh is concerned, but I understand where you're coming from. Like, it is correct to go for Goblin Charbelcher in that situation, but him drawing that card changed everything for him.
Sure. But, like, my other question is, like, let's say you make your 10 goblins there, don't you still lose to just Stoneforge get Batterskull? Doesn't that still beat you? Like, it's not just Force of Will.
Sure. That's true. Yeah, I mean, because he attacks for 10, puts him... attacks for 10, one of the guys gets blocked, puts him to 11, gets Batterskull, puts Batterskull playing, and he's just dead.
Yeah, he's just dead to that, too. There's Carpet of Flowers. That's actually a very good draw.
That's actually not a bad draw.
That's a ton of mana.
Yeah, VD has Brainstorm, Blue Blast, X. He's going to Brainstorm response. He's probably going to try to counter that.
Yeah, this is you're not going to get to pierce anything better than this.
And the thing is, if I'm Josh, based off of what just happened, like me drawing Empty the Warrens is like the worst draw in my deck that turn because it like changes what I want to do that turn. Where I was like set in stone, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to cast Belcher, just like what happened last game, have a mana source in play, just hope to peel out on him and win the game.
And you drew a Pierce off the Brainstorm.
Okay.
But we really needed that. So, like if Josh is on the play, let's say he has that option, I agree with you 100%. Just play your Empty the Warrens for 10. He's not going to get out of it. That's fine.
Sure.
Or he's like way less likely to get out of it, rather.
Josh just drew bees. Xantid Swarm.
But given that Stoneforge Mystic also just, a Dark Blast.
Yeah. Spirit Guide, pass.
Given that he still loses to Stoneforge Mystic, I think it's just you'd have to go for the Charbelcher.
Okay, well let's speak on a different level then. These two know each other fairly well. We talked about during the sideboarding about if we are VD, that leaving in Stoneforge Mystic and Batterskull is borderline crazy. And if these two players are playing on the same level and they know each other for a while, I think that Josh can assume that VD is thinking on the same level as himself and that he would board out Stoneforge Mystic. And if he's assuming that, then VD is literally on a 2-outer to deal with Empty the Warrens.
All right, so let's take a look at his hand here. How bad is this for Josh? We got a Blue Elemental Blast.
Spell Pierce.
Spell Snare.
Spell Snare. X. X is Batterskull. You win again. You always do. That means he left in Stoneforge.
Sure.
He bored out then. I mean, he even boarded in Dark Blast, which that's correct.
I think you cut the Snapcasters. They are pretty slow.
They're not bad on the play though.
I guess. Yeah, sure. Josh he has 2 lines eye down. He's actually building up a hand that's like, you can go off again. I mean, beating the Pierce and the Blue Blast is going to be real rough.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough.
So he drew a Gitaxian Probe, but he looks like he's going to save it because he'd rather save it for a big empty turn.
And big empty turn. Well, I mean, empty is basically shut off now because of Batterskull.
Yeah, I mean, VD's waiting on a 5th land to be able to do it. But
sure.
Yes.
But, I mean, he is saving it so that he knows what he has to play around on the...
I would definitely cast the bees here.
Absolutely.
If he gets the Dark Blast, it's like, all right, that's another turn where he's not casting Batterskull. That's fine.
Basically cutting him off a draw step.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is going to be something at the end step.
Is this Snapcaster, I guess?
Yep. Now we're playing a game on what did VD sideboard out. I mean, maybe some number of swords. Lingering Souls had to have gone.
Yeah, Lingering Souls.
Jit had to have gone. Jace may have gone.
Oh yeah, Jace is probably.
I mean, I don't hate Jace on the play because like I want blue cards to remove for force, and if I'm able to cast if I'm able to stop his initial go off, Jace just ends the game immediately.
Yeah, Jace is also like once you survive the first wave, it's very likely to be able to stop them from ever going off.
Yeah, Jace just holds the game. You just Fate Seal every turn. You're able to control everything that they do.
And then you get to Char Belcher them with Jace's ultimate.
Yes. Yeah. I can see boarding it out. I once again, it's a card that I like on the play. This game isn't impossible for Josh to win, but this is a game if I'm Josh, being in his position and being in this position with Char Belcher decks before, I'm trying to gather as much information as possible.
Yeah, because it's very important to know how he's sideboarded. Like now knowing that he is Stoneforge Mystic, it definitely makes Empty the Warrens less attractive of an option.
Yes.
That information matters for a lot. I mean, Vidi is no Dave Williams, but he has some pretty nice dual lands in his deck too. And foiled, Asian whatnots.
His deck is no joke.
Yeah.
It's a pretty little deck.
Foiled Delta, sure.
5th land, Batterskull is going to be online next turn, if he opts to cast it, of course. Seething Song. He has a Spirit Guide as well.
Yeah.
Probe, that sort of thing.
I think he's going to say the probe for next turn because, you know, there's really no draw that he can get that allows him to... there really isn't a draw this turn that allows him to go off.
Sure. I mean, you can also...
You need him to tap out for Batterskull.
Yeah, it's not like a lock that Vidi's going to tap out for Batterskull next turn.
Right.
His clock isn't great, but, I mean, he's stopping Josh from doing everything. His clock doesn't need to be great if Josh can do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6 cards for Josh. Start with 2.
Yep.
That's a dagger.
Ugh, Thoughtseize.
It's a dagger because it's going to take Spirit Guide. It should take Spirit Guide as far as I can tell from his hand. Once he lays it out, it'll be easier.
So the Spirit Guide or Lion's Eye Diamond, right? Those are really the only 2 cards.
There's no reason to take one of the copies of Char Belcher. Seething Song is too difficult for him to cast right now. Even though Seething Song does do a relatively good job of getting through Pierce, or at least getting the Pierce out of his hand.
Right, like what's Josh's biggest theoretical draw is Rite of Flame, right? That's the one card that VD has to think about the most in terms of how much mana can Josh potentially generate.
Interesting. Does
this mean surgical? Do you have surgical extraction? It certainly implies that he has surgical extraction.
Yeah. I mean, maybe another Thoughtseize.
Oh, sure. But that means that he must have drawn like running Thoughtseizes or something. There's a Spirit Guide.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. All right, let's check out the action. I think this is the turn where we want to get Taxian Probe.
I think you're right, actually. This is. I mean, you want to find out if he has surgical too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if he has surgical,
then we can just go to the third game.
I'm just like snap scooping.
Yeah, we can just go to the third game. Yeah. That's fine.
I don't want to show my deck.
All right, man, you win.
Yeah, I don't want to show my deck. He's going to take out my Char Belchers, and I can't win with Empty the Warren, so I'm just going to instantly concede.
So yeah, Josh is still just, you know, the Cataxian Probe is when you know that Josh is about to make his move.
Yes, absolutely. It's the tip-off that he's going to go off. It's the tip-off, excuse me, that he's going to go off.
He's still going to hold. I think the thing is, like, because V has Blue Blast and Spell Pierce in hand and Batterskull, it's actually pretty tempting for Josh to just say, go here. Like, he might be able to build up a hand that can go off over the top. And the Batterskull speeds up Josh's clock, VD's clock considerably, rather. So the worst thing that you can do is, like, try to go off, play into his blue spells, untap, let VD just safely play his Batterskull, and then die in 2 turns. Like,
sure.
The way that Josh is playing it right now, he's giving himself the maximum amount of time.
It's going to be Snapcaster on Thoughtseize. That's why he took the first one.
Oh, okay.
Makes more sense now. Because he takes the first one, he dares Josh to go off. Josh knows he can't go off, and then he takes the next one. I like that line of play, actually, by VD. And now VD has Pierce plus Blast up.
It's an empty. But
I mean, it's not a big empty because Elvish Spirit Guide isn't a spell.
Also, I think Vidi has another Engineer Explosives in his hand.
Okay.
But we're going to find that out right now.
Yes,
well, Josh is
we
going to find this
are.
out, rather. That is a hand.
It's not a hand.
Got Force of Will, Blue Blast, Engineer Explosive,
Snare.
and Pierce. Pretty happy to just go to the next game if I'm in Josh's position.
Yeah, wait, this... He has no reason to concede. Like, he's dead in 2.5 turns anyway, or 3 turns, whatever the clock is. 6 to 2 to 0. So he's dead. Like, he has no reason to concede. I understand where you're coming from. This game is over.
Right.
But he can just sit there. Maybe he drops another Gataxian probe the turn before he dies. Sees a card.
Oh, sure.
Probes him, sees something.
I just don't grind that hard, man.
What's that?
I said I just don't grind that hard,
Yeah,
man.
back in my old days when I was trying to just
got every nickel and penny.
Yeah, nickel and dime them every which way I could to pay for my rent and my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I wouldn't give it up.
All right, 4 more.
Chromox you drew?
Yeah, he drew a Chromox off the Gataxian Probe, and then he drew a Chromox this turn as well.
Sure.
Things are looking grim.
You're so polite, saying grim.
Yeah. Down to 2.
TCs.
Some foil Japanese Thoughtseize or whatever.
Ain't no big deal.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
Some people are made of money.
Still spending that versus cream.
I like the way Josh untaps that Taiga.
Oh, and the land
there it
grant,
is.
the final, the final rub-ins.
Yeah, a nickel.
All right, so game 3.
Game 3, and this is once again right where Josh wants to be. Vidi is going to drastically alter his deck.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of things are going to change. We're not going to see. I mean, I would assume that we are not going to see Dark Blast or some of the other things in Vidi's deck. Dark Blast is actually okay. Maybe you just won't see swords because Dark Blast also dredges for Snapcaster Mage.
Yep.
But a lot of these cards that are really good for Vidi on the play, some of the discard spells, that sort of thing, are going to get boarded out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Does Vidi have an Academy runes in his deck?
I'm almost positive that he
Yeah, he does, so.
Yeah.
Also dredging over an Engineer Explosives too, which is really nice.
Don't forget about that Dust Bowl that can blow up that Taiga. Thanks.
Yeah. Still just. I like a bowl.
Dust Bowl's one of my favorite cards. It's easily my favorite cube land. Not
Yeah.
even close.
Yeah, because I love drafting cube decks and drafting the cards that punish people when we're getting too fancy.
Me too. I draft monocolor cube decks every draft.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
in Seattle knows I'm either mono black, mono white, or mono red.
Yeah, I like a mono red or a mono black.
Yeah, and I just Dust Bowl is just like never
Or a
passing my
Drago.
way.
I like a Drago.
No, I'd rather throw up.
I like putting someone in the sleeper hole too. I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
I'd
Get him in the middle of the ring and just wait for sleep to come. Buy him back for bids and what have you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You couldn't find something I like to do less than that. I would rather have my opponent be furious that they're losing to a Dothy Slayer when they have like Jace the Mind Sculptor, Simic Sky Swallower, and everything else, and can't beat a 2/1 Shadow creature.
Yeah.
That's exactly my range.
Right.
But I'm not too proud to cast Armageddon either.
No. Yeah.
Because that makes them mad too. For me, it's all about making them as mad as possible in Cube. I don't want to do flashy stuff. I want them to be furious that they played against me.
Yeah, I want them to die with a bunch of 7-mana spells in their hand.
Of course, no, absolutely. Like while getting beaten down by like Isamaru and especially Elite Vanguard, since it's the worst one drop.
Yeah, it's actually kind of an analog for real life. It's because it's like the cube is in theory the place where you're supposed to dream big, when in reality you just need to get a regular job and grind away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm not here
to dream big.
Yeah, I'm here to win.
Just want to get a regular.
My kids eat.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I want a better life for me and for my kids than I had.
That's
all
right.
I'm trying to get. I want to buy back a forbid on your Academy Director, whatever fancy thing you got going on.
Sure. Cast your big Palancron. Snuff out kills it. I don't,
Yeah.
Take 4. I don't mind.
Yeah, my one Moto Cube experience was over at Kibler's place after a party where I first picked. These were the last 7 tickets on my account. I haven't logged on a Moto in like 8 months.
Okay.
Just first pick Fire Blast over Treachery.
Hit me.
Yeah.
That's not even close to me.
Yeah, not even close. Easily 3060.
Yeah.
And then can't sell the 8 packs for 7 tickets, so I'm just locked.
Oh, well.
I'm just I was like, all right. I won the 8 for, and I'm like, I can't wait to get back in the cube. This is so sweet. And the robots, they pull out the 8 packs, and they're like 6 tickets and 84, 100th of a ticket or whatever. And I'm like, well, I can't re-up with this. Well, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. You don't let me keep the cards, and if I win, I don't get 7 tickets. So
That's right.
I'm just in the figure 4.
And you know what? You'll be back again as soon as cube starts.
Yeah.
You will be right back. Magic Online wins again. You see, I learned many moons ago when Magic Online was my job, and I was playing 3 accounts at once to make ends meet, that you can't beat Magic Online.
No.
There's no beating the system.
The house always wins.
That's correct.
The house always wins.
The Hard Rock beat me on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to come back tonight. I may lose again.
Yeah, I'm re-up. Yeah, we're just re-upping.
Magic Online always wins. You can't beat them.
Can't win if you don't play. Actually not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah, you can. My favorite is just all the people that are complaining about it. Just like, 6.84, are you kidding me? Get used to it, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You're not making anything cubing. You're going to have the time of your life, and then you are going to be mad.
Right. It's like, at least let me... You know what actually was the most frustrating thing about the cube for me? Is that all the alternate art, it's like... I can't recognize any of these cards. I haven't seen, like, your
They're
new...
so pretty.
I haven't seen the new cube art before or whatever, so I actually don't know what any of these cards are.
Sure.
All right, so in the other semifinal, Brian defeated Joseph 2-0. So
No more dredge.
Maverick is moving on to the finals.
No more dredgy poos for you.
I will. The degenerate, no mana, no cards in hand, flip over your graveyard, kill you with just 0 mana spells.
I'm surprised.
Defeated by green-white creatures of varying cost and quality.
Green, white dudes and men.
Dudes. Green-white dudes.
Green White's one of my favorite decks when I was growing up because as my best friend, Joe Gagliari always explained, you play creature, you're done. Next time you play bigger creature, and you're done until you kill them.
It looks like we have Tiger Land Grant combo in Josh's hand. Yeah, we do.
Can't stop, won't stop. Down to six we go.
Yeah. And VD is going down to 6 too.
It's more important for, obviously mulligans are bad on both ends, but it's more important for Josh that VD mulligan. VD mulliganing is a good thing. He's probably searching for force or something like that.
Yep.
Josh's deck, Belcher does not mulligan extremely well. You don't really want to go below 6 because you don't want to do the old go, get hit by like a Thoughtseize or something. That's the last thing you want to happen. So these 6 cards need to be good. Yeah. He will probably get into the situation where like he probably has like some number of rituals like a Gataxian Probe or like a Metamorphose, and if that's his hand, he just has to go for it and hope like that Metamorphose cantrips into whatever it needs to be.
Right. Yeah, once you're playing against like Pierce, Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Blue Blast, you can't let V have a mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like there too many things break bad.
Yeah, you just have to hope that it's like that. He hope like he's on force and or he mulliganed and he doesn't have force and you can just go off. If he has force, you have empty the warrens, and if he doesn't have force, then you're just in the clear either way. So
yeah.
That's what you have to hope for.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem, Belcher is one of those kind of decks, sort of like Dredge, though not nearly as bad. As like once you mulligan to 6, you're actually pretty likely to go to 5, because then it's just like your hand's less likely to have the configuration of stuff that you need.
Yeah, it just won't add to 7.
Right.
It may, if there's a chance it might add to 4, but it will not add to 7.
But 4 is actually good enough against VD, like if it's Chart Belcher.
Sure.
Because he actually can't get off the board. You have all day to get your 3 mana after that.
I mean, 1 disenchant.
Okay.
1 disenchant to take care of it. 1 outer, but.
So, Land Grant Tiger.
Combo.
It's a combo. I don't know, man. Play 2 lands, I guess.
I tried that. It embarrasses your Belcher activations on occasion.
Yeah. All right.
Can we do it?
I mean, he's got a lot of mana. I don't know if he has... we're all dressed up. I don't know if we have anywhere to go. Oh, hold on.
VD. Mulligan to 5. Good spot for Josh.
Digging pretty aggressively. I mean, we haven't gotten a look at his hands. We actually don't know if they were just non-functional hands or if they were fine, just not didn't have what Vidi felt was an appropriate level of disruption.
Yeah. I mean, he's on the draw. He has to find force. He has to find force and hope that Josh isn't on.
Well, not after Josh's mulligan's a 6, right? At that point, then maybe reasonable hand with Thoughtseize or Blue Blast is now in your range.
I mean, if you're Josh, that's what you want him to be doing, though.
You can't go to like you go to 4 looking for a force of will.
I think you can go to 5 looking for a force. I mean, you don't want to go to 4 looking for a force, but if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do, yo.
I don't know. I think that once Josh himself it's different if Josh keeps 7. Then I'm totally on board. You just got to dig pretty aggressively. I feel like once Josh is on 6, the range of hands he's willing to keep is much higher, and so you should be doing the same thing. Then I think something like reasonable hand with Blue Blast or Thoughtseize or Inquisition should be inside of your range. I'm not saying to keep 5 lands Thoughtseize,
sure.
But if you have Thoughtseize plus Vidillion Click plus something else plus lands, maybe that becomes good enough to keep.
Sure.
Where you wouldn't keep that hand on 7. Or you wouldn't keep that hand if Josh had kept 7 himself.
Okay, that's a fair argument.
But we don't even know if Vidi was even mulliganing reasonable hands that just didn't have enough disruption. He might have just been 7 spells, 6 lands, etc.
Sure. 5 of the very best. See, I don't know if Josh has a kill condition in his hand.
I think he has like Lotus Petal Xanid Swarm.
I think I saw Swarm too.
Okay, so Vidi's gonna keep.
Paddle.
Now we have a ton of rituals. Now we just need something to do.
Yep. Discard. Okay. Don't mind.
Yeah, it's all the same.
He's gonna take paddle.
Yeah,
that's
seems
what
like
he should take since that's what he's starting with.
Yeah, I had to assume the take here is pedal.
Yeah, I can't imagine him taking anything else. Nothing else gets it started. It's a fine keep by Josh. You can you can assume to some degree that Vidi boarded out most of his his Dark Blast, his swords, that sort of thing, on the draw.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I like this hand. Seems totally fun to me. And if he doesn't have a kill spell, you have a lot of time to
all the times, all the time.
Keep its legs warm, man. Keep its wings flapping. You gotta hit him. I don't care if you're not casting anything. You gotta hit.
Yeah.
Just let him know who's in charge.
Absolutely. Taste it. You gotta put them in their place.
Oh yeah, let them know what's going on.
Show them who's in control of this game. You're not taking this away from me. Not like this.
Oh, there's a Mox, big draw. So now all he needs is actual action.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You're too good. Now you're good to attack. Too good to attack.
No, there's no Snapcaster can't kill it. It's no one flyer. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I hope he doesn't suicide this thing into a click. That joke only goes so far.
That's true. Would be good for the camera though.
Oh yeah. Arguably.
We know if he doesn't have much action. Just gonna pass. Draw Steppa.
Lion's Eye Diamond. Sure.
The card he wants is Belcher too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We don't want it to be empty.
Right, because we can just go hit you with Xanad Swarm, kill you.
Yes.
Instead of going empty the warrens, die.
Yes.
To engineer explosive.
So I think we're joking about the Xanad Swarm thing, but I guess he has one Vidillion Click that he can run Xanad Swarm into.
Oh, there's no way you attack.
Yeah.
Right. Like Vidi's just gonna Dark Blast this thing if it actually matters, and you're just risking getting it eaten for nothing.
Do we know if Vidi has Dark Blast in his hand?
No, we know it's in it. I mean, it was in his deck last game.
I was gonna say that we were kidding about it should keep attacking, but him attacking with that can cause Vidi to cast something that he wouldn't normally cast.
Yeah.
Just because he won't be able to cast it later, like a Brainstorm or something, who knows what, but it can cause that. The fear.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Do we have a click or anything, or
click would be good.
I don't even know if you take anything out of his hand.
What starters does he have? Just Mox?
Mox.
Mox isn't a bad take, but you probably don't want to take it.
Oh, he's plowing.
Okay. This game got harder.
Yeah, it got a lot harder.
Think. Thoughtseize you. Gonna take that there. At their Mox, more than likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume, but Vidi just recording his hand here.
Look at the control of the camera.
Yeah.
Technology is unbelievable.
Such precision. Alright, there goes the Mox.
Yep. Draw a card. Tinderwall. Passing back.
Yeah, this is pretty rough for Josh. He has no starter, nor does he even have... He has nothing to start with and nothing to finish with.
Nothing to finish with, yeah. This is going to get maybe Stoneforge Mystic Time? No.
There's a Char Belcher. Okay. We still, you know, we need Vidi to have nothing. And we need a starter.
Well, we're part 1 of the way there.
Yeah, I mean...
Part 1 of 2. Peanut butter, looking for jelly.
Ponder.
Good card. Be a tough game for Josh to win.
Oh yeah, it depends. I mean, Vidi's down at like 1 card in hand or something. I mean, he might not be able to. He might not actually have another piece of disruption.
I know he has Stoneforge in his hand. I think he's got more than. It's around 2 or 3. He may have another piece of disruption.
I'm sure. I mean, he's mulled to 5. I think he's pretty close to E.
Sure.
Although keep not shuffling off the ponder implies that he has more disruption than you just drew.
That's probably a discard spell.
Inquisition, which is actually really important.
Really
That's
good.
Inquisition because he has to keep his Char Belcher.
Super
Yeah, it looks like
important.
Vidi's down at 2 cards in hand.
Okay. I'm fairly sure his hand's Stoneforge X. Not 100% positive, but
Yeah. So what do you take here? I mean, it's all kind of the same.
I mean, it's
right?
all redundant, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to take a card that's not redundant, I would take Seething Song. Because what's going to end up happening is Tinderwall is going to be your starter. Well, I mean, Tinderwall is going to be the card that puts you up to Desperate Ritual. And you can't play both Tinderwalls. So you take a Seething Song because that's the one that gets you the most mana.
Yeah. Makes sense. Are you taking LED?
And I can see some reason behind taking that as well.
I mean, does that imply Spell Pierce? Like, I don't know what that means.
Draw step.
There's a
Paddle.
starter. I think he's got to go for it.
Can't wait. 3 cards in his hand.
Ain't gonna get better for you.
I mean, just waiting to do anything. Paddle, Tinderwall, Ritual, Song. I don't think you cast Song. Paddle, that. I mean, if you have Spell Pierce, pretty dead. Don't think you can afford to wait any longer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just play Paddle and say go.
But what are we waiting on? Like, okay, he's gonna pass.
You can play Paddle and say go so it can't be hit by discard or Snapcaster plus Inquisition. Which is like fine because you don't have to like move all the way in.
But I mean, what's Josh's like set of draws here that he's looking to get where he can go over the top of whatever cards he's playing around right now? Okay, there's a really good starter, right?
That's a really good starter, yeah.
I mean, is there an argument for like just going like land grant, assume it resolves, just going Tinderwall go?
No, that's not bad. You don't have to. Josh doesn't have to shove it all in right now. He can do it in pieces.
Right.
Which is why I kind of wanted to play Lotus Petal say go last turn. He can break it up. Brainstorm response. Because this isn't a game that he's going to be winning with Empty the Warrens. It's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you break it into pieces, breaking it into pieces is how you get around Spell Pierce.
And Blue Blast to a lesser extent too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so that Blue Blast on the Seething Song isn't just game over. It's not always a rush like everyone thinks it is with Belcher. That's what makes the deck interesting.
all right, so we are gonna snare. It looks like it's getting hit with a snare.
Okay. 6, 7. Just showing his hand again for land grant.
Yeah. I mean, do we shove now? He has no blue mana up. He's got Scrubland Swamp. He's down to 2 cards in hand.
Is it 2 cards?
I don't know, man. I'm shoving.
I mean, if it's 2 cards, I'm shoving. Not shoving.
Yeah, now with he has no blue mana, like, yeah.
I mean, VD's probably like baiting him, but I mean, whatever.
Whatever. Well, then he's down to 0 card. I guess you're just gonna be on E if you don't go off here. I don't understand how you get a better spot than this.
I mean, if you're being baited by Force, you're not beating Force anyway, right?
Right. Yeah, he has no tools to even fight that card, so.
Yeah, so you might as well just move in.
Shove.
I mean, there is the other thing that is an issue here is that, like, if the card in VD's hand is Disenchant.
Oh, he's saying go? Oh.
Like, because he can only put Belcher into play and not activate it, so if he puts Belcher into play,
what do you mean he can activate? Doesn't he have, like, he can definitely get a 7, right?
No, he goes up to 4, Seething Song, -3, up to 1 is 6. He plays Tinderwall, which is 2, Ritual is 3. And Ritual is 4, Seething Song that's a giant beating.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't disagree with you. I think he should have went off last turn. Or attempt to go off last turn. No argument.
Come on, do we have another Belcher? Be a good draw right here.
Not a good draw. Spirit Guide. I think you should have went for it last turn.
Yeah. I mean, with no blue mana up, it's just too attractive in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think VD is obviously.
Oh, we had 3 in hand last turn, I guess. I guess that changes things.
Still. I don't think it changes a ton. I think VD's baiting him into trying to go off because he has Disenchant or Force of Will, and you're not beating either of those cards anyway. So, what are we doing this turn? Is he just getting that into play? Okay, got it.
I mean, it turns the clock down to 4 turns. Like, instead of being 3 turns, it's 4 turns.
Tinderwall no 3?
Yeah, I believe so. It's Wall of Wood, I think.
It's been a little while since I've cast the old boy. Dark Blast? I mean, you can bluff Dark Blast. Ew.
Oh, no.
Ew, that's gross. Ugh. That's gross.
It's a disaster.
He's still okay. Because he has 2 Spirit Guides, so he can still go off. But...
Wall of Wood.
Because he can remove both Spirit Guides, cost all the rituals. Blast is not bad, actually. Makes the waiting actually seem completely reasonable.
Right. He's gonna get... He needs to basically draw Charbelcher.
It's next turn.
Right. Well, 2 turns, right? He goes to 7, and then 2. And then
he should be at 9 right now because of Vendilion.
Oh, right, yeah.
He should be at 9. This faction gonna put him to 4. Draw a card.
No, that is nothing.
Dead. He's not dead yet. Remove Spirit Guide. Put Tinderwall into play so he can block for a turn. Is the best that he can do to extend the game for a turn. It's not good.
So yeah, you're just eating a Dark Blast again, and then it's even harder to go off the following turn.
Yeah. Cast this. Go.
And there's an explosives, and that's gonna seal the deal.
I'll do it, my friends. Oh, actually, that does not do it. What a master. Sees all the plays.
He's gonna Simeon Spirit Guide?
Of course. Yeah, so we were beat anyway.
Alright.
Good games.
Good games. Vidianto Wijaya wins 2-1 over God 10. And
we're going to see Stoneforge versus Maverick in the finals.